Alright, and these races are about to begin their last race in the Banjo-Tooie Any Percent tournament. And they're off. Slightly off sync, but I will fix that real quick. No, they're on sync. First thing our runners are going to be doing is a Klungo cutscene skip, where they attempt to skip the Klungo cutscene. However, both of them failed the Klungo cutscene skip, so they will be both watching the Klungo cutscene. And in runs Klungo for 10. Be an interesting race today. Ooh, Flameforged pulls ahead as 10 misses his stump jump. Be an interesting race today. A lot of the races we've been seeing in this last 6th round are fairly close. All the players have very similar PBs going into it so far. I mean, the race we saw the other day between Xenernicus and Connor was pretty close to PBs. Flights and Dingo Slayer were a little further apart, but 10 and Flameforged both have PBs about 10 seconds apart from each other. 10 with a 44.31, meanwhile Flameforged has a 44.41. So the race isn't starting out too hot for 10 so far. He's got a red potion, Klungo 1, to deal with. Meanwhile, Flameforged is sitting with a green potion, Klungo 1, so he's going to be done his fight much faster. On top of that, having a much better Spiral Mountain as well, so he's got a little bit of an early lead happening so far. The rest of the run can still dictate who wins, of course, but having an early start is always really nice, especially if you've got your eye on the chat or if you got your eye kind of on the stream, you know, keeping tabs on where your opponent's at. So Flameforged going to be running into Jinjo Village. 10's only maybe like 5 seconds behind him, maybe a little more. 7 seconds, 8. 10 gets into place. Misses his first beak bust up, but the second one looks real good, and he gets it up. Meanwhile, 10 doing the jump from the window, does it very nicely. He's definitely put a lot of practice into that. It's a very fluid motion, and it always looks really interesting when you see someone do it, because it's that quick jump up onto the windowsill, then you got the jump, you know, to the window ledge, and then, you know, turn your camera, beak bust up. It looks absolutely beautiful. So because 10 got his on his first try and Flameforged missed his first jump, he's going to be gaining a little bit of time back. Not a whole lot, but it's the little bits that help out in the early game. Before you start getting to, you know, the hard levels where you know your opponent messes something up and all you have to do is like do it correctly. But we probably won't be seeing any of that until hopefully Mayhem Temple, but I mean there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong in GGM. A lot of the speed shoe section is a way to, you know, save some time on your opponents, having slightly more optimal movement. You know, swimming in the flooded caves. There's not a whole lot there, but I mean, you know, having quicker turns, stuff like that. The fast death warp off of the Billy Bob by the Jiggy is another good one. But I didn't happen to see if both players took damage to Klungo, so if they're going to be doing the fast death or not. But even then, taking 1 damage only sets it up. You can't really get it until it's done, so there's more dangers that lurk in GGM, but I'm not trying to make an exhaustive list. Of course, the big ones this tournament have been Power Hut Basement, Detonator Levitation, and the whole like running shoes drop waterfall section. Lots of runners have, you know, fallen off, and when that happens, it just always feels bad because it's like 40-second time loss right at the very beginning. Flameforge having a missed plateau early, so 10 is pretty much caught up with them now. They're almost tied, opening the warp silo and plateau. Flameforge with a first try GGM early, 10 with a really quick second try, so... Ooh, Flameforge with a really late text cancel though. Yeah. Runners may be 2 seconds apart from each other. This race is heating up. So let's try doing something I haven't done once since the start of this tournament. Watch both players do something at the same time. Both players, no problem grabbing their first notes. 10 gets stuck on the platform a little bit, going for different note routes. 10's got all his notes. Flameforge has all his notes. They're basically synced now as they hit the water. 10 has a little bit tighter movement though, so he's... Oh, no! They're pretty much synced. I think 10's a couple frames ahead. Flameforge does his standard fall to the side, so he's going to lose some time over 10 for that one, just because he has to kind of run back to the jiggy. So it's a little bit safer, but at the same time it does lose a little bit of time. So 10 going to be taking the lead going into flooded caves. Now we're going to see what happens. Both of them only have 1 health. 10 grabs the one, but doesn't quite get the fast death warp. Flameforge doesn't try for the fast death warp. He just kind of walks up to the, enemy. So... Ooh, 10 misses the... Oh, both of them missed the shoes! 10 grabs the warp pad, and Flameforge might have grabbed it before. I think Flameforge might have grabbed it before. He had a really awkward camera angle when he was running to the gate switch, so it might have been from the camera turning. If he forgot to grab the switch, then he's in for a really rude surprise right now, but... Nope, he got it on his way to the running shoes section. I remember seeing the awkward camera flick when he was like going over, and I thought he might have tried to go up to like see the Globo or get the Globo, and then decided, oh yeah, I need to do the water switch, but I didn't see the first little bit. Alright, both players watching the cutscene now, and now it's flip-flopped. 10 is now 2 seconds ahead of Flameforge, but this time he's actually 2 seconds ahead. I hadn't accounted for the warp pad cutscene skip, or the warp pad cutscene trigger before, so... with fairly good movement around fuel storage. I feel like Flameforge got a really bad or really laggy camera angle on his explosion. Detonating there always feels really laggy, but I don't know, that one looked a little laggy. Then jumping into the water at a good time. Not very laggy at all. Makes it up first try. Flameforged a little bit close to the wall when he jumps in. Jumps once, doesn't detonate, so doesn't lose a whole lot of time to it. But both of them make it up with pretty fast detonator levitations. Nothing really bad happened on this split for either runner. Flameforge had to take a safety hop around the corner, or else he might have landed in the water. That was really funny from what happened to Flameforge there. I'd never seen that before. Normally when you take damage with a detonator, he kind of spins around, but because he detonated on the ooh, accidental beak bust. Because he detonated on the edge of the warp pad, it made him spin around. Like in a big circle. It wasn't just a quick little tight turn. Oh no, 10 bonks. Our first bonk of the run on Bill Drill for 10. And for once it happening to the runner who's actually ahead. But luckily 10 has maintained his lead. The bonk, you know, caught Flameforged up a little bit, but not a whole lot. Flameforged flapping out of Talon Trot. Ten doing an interesting setup for the generator cavern. Like 10 did the slow setup where you run in and Talon Trot, and then he didn't turn his camera, so he just got out of Talon Trot without turning his camera. Maybe he forgot to peck out of Talon Trot for the fast setup, because he did the fast setup once he was in Generator Cavern. Uh-oh, he missed the lamp though, so now he has to run on the boards. Hopefully he can navigate. Meanwhile, Flameforged makes it. So missing the lamp there for 10 was a really big mistake. Flameforged is now caught up. So, and he got the fast rope grab as well. So they're going to be synced, leaving GGM once again. 10 with awkward movement. Uh-oh, Flameforged puts a bonk emote in chat. Are we about to see a bonk? Is he reading the future for us? Yep, Flameforged gets a bonk. So now we're tied up at 1 bonk apiece. Unfortunately for Flameforged, he's no longer tied. Really nice shots to the fire switches from both runners too. Both of them very, very fast. After seeing so many bonks this early, it's like every time Jam Jars goes up, it's like, oh dear, are we gonna see another one? I'm sure if Flameforged bonks again, he'll probably type it in chat again, so it won't be such a surprise. We'll see. 10 not talking to the disciple, running in the wrong direction. Didn't have a very good enter split. Meanwhile, Flameforged gets a backwards camera angle talking to the disciple. It looked like he didn't really know what was going on, or he expected it not to be so laggy or something. Because he missed another text cancel again. Mumbo Token would be rolling around in his grave right now. Alright. 10 on his first puzzle now. Flameforged with a really unlucky puzzle split up. 10's isn't much better. He gets an 89. Flameforged looking to be a 91. So Flameforged saving 2 seconds on puzzles here. Flameforged got that nice puzzle split up where, you know, you got the 2 pieces on the one side. immediately split up and hit the other side. And now we watch level cutscene opening. Alright. So 10 entering MT now. Both these players heading on their way to go do Jade Snake Grove early. Let's see how these runners do. I'm sure there's been some amount of practice. Whoa, that was funky from 10, but he makes it in first try. Flameforged makes it in, not quite. He's aiming to the right. Oh, and he makes it in second try. Was a little bit too low on that first one, I feel. But 10 using the look straightforward method. Or Flameforged using the look straightforward method. 10 using the look to the left, where the crack's a little bigger. Flameforged not canceling his text again on his Jinjo. Flameforged may as well be reading a book at this point. Really good jump to the Jiggy from 10 there. Just kind of landing directly on the Jiggy and immediately shooting his grenade egg. That's how you want to see it. Flameforged gets a little too close and bounces off before you can fire the grenade. 10 using and 1 extra feather. He's going to have to land a little low. Yeah, lands at the second Jiggy down. Flameforged, on the other hand, missing the orange Jinjo, so he's going to be taking off here. Flameforged has a lot of feathers too, so... Ooh, that's aiming all the way down. Alright. 10 beak bombing through the treble clef, lands at the flies with 6 feathers, so he's got a lot. He's not gonna have to worry about it. Really unlucky with fly placement. Two of the flies were like directly over his head, basically. 10 really needs to learn to center his cursor when he's aiming. Or not center his cursor, but hold his cursor still after he shoots. Cause like 10 just kind of takes a quick shot, aims at a fly, and then immediately puts his cursor back to center. So he doesn't have any chance to track the fly or take a second shot. Every shot has its own aim. Alright, prison compound for 10 now. Third try code out of 10. Let's see what Flameforged has. Nope, Flameforged doesn't get first try. Alright. Flameforged was second try code, so it's a little bit of time. I feel like Flameforged had some bad luck with flies, but both of them kind of did. Flameforged had one of the flies fly over his head as well. Either way, 10 on his way to pillars now. Flameforged just behind him though. He's just going back into Mayhem Temple through the Prospector's Hut. So he's close. A missed pillar from 10 could create a catch up, but holy crap, that was great camera work from 10. Oh my god, these pillars though. Oh my god, those were great pillars. Holy crap. Flameforged on his first pillar. Makes it up. First one. Second one. Ooh, doesn't quite make it. But yeah, dude, like, 10 didn't even stop moving on those first two pillars. Ooh, Flameforged having a bit of trouble now. Getting stuck on the boulder. I think those were the best pillars I've seen all tournament, to be honest. That I remember. Like, that was just beautiful. It brings a tear to my eye. Flameforge's pillars, on the other hand, bring a tear to my eye for other reasons. Alright. 10 is out of MT. Flameforged on his last pillar jump, and he makes it up. Yeah, see, like, there's good pillars, and then there's then there's like pillars that make you think about what the player is doing. I would have to go back and watch. I'm sure there's been other ones, but that one was just a shining example. Alright, 10 done with his GGM puzzle. Meanwhile, Flameforged just about to leave MT, just gets rocketed across. Watching two players do puzzles at the same time is hard to like kind of focus on exactly what they're doing. Their timers are almost synced though. It's interesting. Flameforged with a legendary 81 GGM puzzle. Meanwhile, 10 I think with an 82 I think. Again, watching the puzzles was was interesting because I was watching both at the same time. You're watching, you're watching, you're watching, and then you're like, oh man, their timers are synced and they're at 85, 84, 83. Flameforged is still doing the GGM puzzle, 82. And then you gotta stop looking at what the players are doing and go like, what's going on over here? No offense. Alright. Flameforge starting his Witchy World puzzle now. Looks like 10 picked up the wrong piece by accident there. 84 puzzle out of Flameforged on his Witchy World. I think that's pretty good. Meanwhile, 10 gets an 80 on his JRL, so... two pretty good puzzles. I would say both of those are okay in a race. Obviously, you'd want a little faster, but... So right now, looking at their best possible time, 10 is sitting with a best possible time on his splits of a 45.01. Flameforged sitting with a best possible time of 46.20. Got hung up on a little bit too long at pillars. Oh, Flameforged almost making the same mistake he made in his last race. Leaving Jiggy Wiggy's temple before finishing all of his puzzles. But by some work of divine intervention, he is back doing his puzzle. And now 10 goes to start Witchy World. So Flameforge gets a 79 on his JRO. So I think Flameforge had a better Witchy World puzzle than 10, but 10's GGM was much better, and his JRL was a second better as well. So no puzzles saved, or no time saved for Flameforged on puzzles. Welcome PG and PG viewers to the epic race of 10 and Flameforged. Alright, 10 pretty home free out of Witchy World now. All he has to do is hit his button and he's done. Flameforged on his way to Witchy World right now. He's not going to quite make it into the level. It was almost pretty much like not at the same time, but pretty soon after each other. 10 resetting, Flameforged entering Witchy World. So Flameforged is exactly one Witchy World unit behind. Excuse me while I attempt to resync the timers. There we go. Ooh. Flameforged, sorry, 10 Taking a couple tries to get on top of the wooden signpost. Sometimes it just takes a couple. I know. Flameforged had a much better aim at the Witchy World button than 10 did. Oh my goodness. For some reason, I thought 10 was going to rejoin on the button there. It looked awfully close. But I think that was just my imagination. He like kind of zigzagged out of the way at the last second. Ten making it into JRL without touching the signpost text trigger. Flameforged is also missing the signpost, but he does a beak bust from the end of it and gets up on his second try. And now 10 is in the water. It's up to the eel now. Ooh, 10 gets a little too close to the octopus. But luckily he took a hit right at the very end in the direction of the loading zone, so he's going to be fine. He'll still need to go up for... Ooh, he's taken it absolutely safe. Taking one hit in the octopus is fine where he did it. He could make it to the top just fine. But if he gets hit by an eel, of course, it's kind of over, so... I guess just to play it safe, he decided, you know, he's going to throw everything on the table here. Or not going to throw everything on the table. So fills up on his air. 10 has a bad history with eels too, yeah. So, I mean, now it doesn't matter. If an eel hits him, then, I mean, sure, he'll take damage. But he's not going to get quadruple tapped by the eels. And I mean, it's a good thing he did, because he probably couldn't have dodged the eels. If he swam directly up, he might have made it over top of that one eel that was swimming at him, but... I mean... Flameforged with a pretty straight path through the octopus. Thought he was going to get a little too close to the octopus's head when he finished his swim around, but makes it out just fine. Alright, time for Flameforged to take his dip with the eels. He's making it. And he made it. And it goes on. Alright. 10 approaching Clungo 2. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, Flameforged just leaving. Oh my goodness. Thought he was going right off cliff top. See if he gets tangled up by the clones here. Flame 10 taking it extra safe. And he hits the wrong clone. Oh no. I mean, he's still a phase ahead. He's not going to be losing his lead to this unless he hits another one. The real one was the one that ran directly by him, I think. Or maybe it was the one that was to the right of the one he shot, I don't know. The bright one looked like the one that like ran directly by him that he just kind of ignored. Alright. Flameforged also getting Blue Potion Klungo. So let's see what kind of phase 2 for Blue Potion he has. For some reason, Flameforged getting into first person to shoot his second shot, which is kind of strange, but whatever feels safest, I guess. Flameforged notices the fake clone, or the real one, right away, even though he didn't see any of them split up from each other. Alright, so while 10 goes to set up his DCW cutscene now, Flameforged just finishing collecting his last couple notes, note nests, and he's on his way. Flameforged with another bonk on Clockwork Eggs. That evens the odds up. 2 bonks. 2 bonks for Flameforged. Meanwhile, 1 bonk for 10. But 10 did get third try prison code. Alrighty. 10 now starts his I can't think of the word, to be honest. I can't. He starts his last section. All he has left to do is the Hag one. Fight. Flameforged almost into his hag fight as well. If 10 can keep up his hag 1 fight, you know, above water, absolutely nothing should prevent him from winning his race. However, mistakes do add up. So, we'll just see how it goes. He does have to lose a lot of time though. Like a lot of time. Like Flameforged is almost the full. He's a minute 3 seconds behind 10, so 10 would have to make a minute worth of mistakes. And looking at that fast grenade shot from 10, I don't think that's gonna happen, unless he misses a bunch of battery cycles or dies in hag 1. But we'll see. And on top of that, Flameforged does have to have a mistake-free hag 1 on top of that, so we'll see. Both are hag 1 fights are pretty similar. Oh no, 10 missed some shots. Both our hag 1 fights are pretty similar. 10's best hag 1 is a 623, Flameforged best is a 623 as well. But in his PB, Flameforged has a 625 and 10 has a 632, so I mean, it's a little bit of time, but it's not enough time to catch up. We'll see what happens. Flameforged does opt to go for only fire egg strats, so a 623 with only fire eggs is pretty spicy. That was the laggiest grenade barrage I've ever seen. Hag 1, more like hag fun. Haha. Flameforged a little far away, hard to aim. Makes it work. 10 just finishing his second mortar phase. Meanwhile, Flameforged is just starting up his first mortar phase. Flameforged having a little bit of trouble aiming there. 10 having really good egg shots. He's hitting Grunty, but shooting a lot of extra ones is causing a lot of lag. But at the same time, all he has to do is finish, so. Not sure what 10 was hoping to accomplish by getting into first person there, but might have been something he saw on the internet once. Then about to go in and blow up his second battery. Meanwhile, Flameforged is just blowing up his first battery. Both of them blowing up the batteries in the proper order. Oh, don't stop, Mr. Drill. My lovely lasers. Can somebody phone for a tow truck? Ooh. Uh-oh. 10 taking a lot of damage here. Not going for any of the health either. He's tanking it out. Hopefully he doesn't get the Uggers in bad spots. Meanwhile, Flameforged just going for the end of his second battery phase, shooting Grunty. Ooh, luckily the Ugger was right next to him. He should have no problem avoiding the Uggers in the next phase. But we'll see what happens. If he gets bumped by one of the Uggers, he could be in for a world of hurt. It's down to the wire for 10 here. Uh-oh. Okay, 1 health left. Okay, he's probably good. There we go. 10 finishes with a 46-16. Congratulations to 10. That was really close. And now we have Flameforged. He's just starting his fight to the death. Hopefully it'll be a little less harrowing. Oh no, he's been doing his fight to the death for a while. Ooh, that Ugger just tagging the edge of the fire egg. I don't actually know if Flameforged can get that honeycomb that's inside the drill. It's kind of on the inside of the wheel. I'm not sure why he went in there when there's 3 honeycombs literally right next to him, but... Alright. Flameforged taking the long path. Finishes with a 47-18. Having a little bit hard time hitting Grunny on that last phase there. Spiritual journey, start to finish. Alright.